Alright guys, welcome back to the most amazing gaming channel in the world. Today we're going over this mid-season update, and oh my gosh, am I excited. Now, I did just get off work, so sorry. It is hot as beyond hell. It's like 100 degrees and like probably 80 degrees in my apartment, so no camera day for unexplainable reasons. Let's jump on into this because it's going to be a very long update, I feel. So first going to be player behavior. Basically, it says that we ramped up player punishment. Now they want to focus on being good. I think this is a huge good thing because, you know, it's going to add people to, like, be more helpful and not so fucking, like, fuck you. It's like, okay, you're being a dick. You know, I think this is good. You can't just always punish the negative. You have to give good things to those who are nice. And I'm going to heavily use this system here. Smite's adding a commendation system. So each month players will gain points from players commending them for their positive actions or from just playing with 100% goodwill. Now this is what's going to be really good to know is how many points do you get, because say that, you know, say someone like myself who plays every now and then, like maybe a game a day, if that, and then on like once a week I'll play for a couple hours. How easy is it going to be able to obtain these points? Because this is what is exciting, but you have to make it obtainable for everyone who plays the game. You know, you can't be like, oh, you get 1 point for commendation and you get 10 points per game or something. Because if you think about it, that's 30 games, and if you main Conquest, that's potentially 30 hours just to get 300 points. Plus, if you have good people, and that's if you're at 100%. So anyways, long story short, hopefully they'll be able to do good things here. Yearly rewards. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be eligible for this, so fuck you all. Report prompting. I think this is really good too. It's going to, in a sense, give people an idea of what an actual reporting system is. So it's basically going to take, this is going to take more closely tracked, identify people who may be taken away from the positive player, and then they'll take that information and then prompt you at the end saying, hey, do you want to actually report this person? What's additional information? VGS restriction. I'm glad I recommended this as well. Players who abuse the VGS system should, you know, can have it restricted and lower the amount of times they can use before they get like 10-second stopped. So I think that's really good too. Goodwill system revamped. Now instead of getting 30% favor at 100%, you gain 15%, but you also gain 15% more FP. And then high-risk support presence. I think this is, you know, I think this is going to be very, very helpful. It's something that I sent to Pawn. Let's do this. Awesome. So here it is, guys. Let's do this. So we've seen it, and I even say right here, all right, I do feel your community doesn't feel you care very much. Actions speak louder than words, but if someone tags 4 high-res employees, someone should reply or contact them. Shows that you at least acknowledge them. I majored in PR and advertising with an emphasis in marketing. A tweet goes a long way. Hell, hire someone on to solely take care of social media. Put something like Smite game support and have that be directed to where your tweets go. Have the person in charge be trusted and be able to address all concerns and such. Just an idea that may show the community you listen, care, and respond. Those are 3 huge things. You have to listen, care, and respond. Much love, man. Love your streams. All right? That was, when was that? May 29th. So it took a couple months, but it actually looks like maybe they're using that. All right, more punishments will be sent out. They're increasing the high-res support presence. Again, not saying it's just me, but I feel like maybe I did have a, you know, me among the many, many, many other people that complained about this. Maybe they finally understood, and maybe they did take to heart what I said, because it is what I majored in. I'm gonna toot my own horn here. I had like a 3.6 GPA in college, so I'd say that's pretty fucking good. Anyways, consoles. We're gonna skip that. Sorry. Fountains now take more quickly for smaller amounts, while healing allies or dealing damage to enemies. It's going to be pretty cool. I like that. Founders no longer affected by anti-heal. Love and hate this. I'd love to Odin cage someone in their fountain and then they just can't heal. This I think is going to be very interesting. This is crazy. You get an extra 1 second of upon exiting the fountain of an extra healing. So this will be interesting. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, so you can utilize that 1 second. Please, please, please do not wait until you are full before leaving the fountain. Don't be that not even bronze player. Timed queues. This is great. I love it. We talked about it earlier. You're going to have a timed queue system, show a countdown. This is really, really cool. I really like this. All ranked modes. I mean, we all know this. You know, all players in queue will be sent a prompt to accept the match. Matchmaking will be done after accepting, so there's no penalty to declining the queue pop. The matchmaking will occur during a 20-second period after accepting. This, I think, is good. One, it's not 30 seconds, it's 20 because you know when it's going to go off. Two, it's also very, very helpful because how many times are you in a queue? You wait for that last person and then they dodge and then you get thrown back into a queue and then you're going through 10 minutes of fucking queues because one person dodges each fucking time. This is great. I love it. All ranked modes. Ranked rewards have been updated. Early surrender now would be done 10 minutes before. Disconnect. If a player disconnects within the first 3 minutes and has not returned. I like this. This means that they have at least connected to the game, not just not connected. And, you know, it's for 3 minutes. So this, I think, is pretty good. For ranked modes, early surrender occurs. The following will happen. Active players on the losing team will lose 0 TB. This is great. This allows people to just move on and understand that it's not worth playing a 40-minute game to try and come back just to lose. And then you lose TP. Mixed on this. Yes, it's good, but at the same time, we've all had those games where you're playing, your sound effect goes down, you tell people, hey, I need to restart. This happened to me. I literally had no sound effects. And it's tough. Like, because if I leave, I need to rely on 4 randos, not just to F6 the game. That's tough. The disconnected player will also lose 2 times the full amount of TP they would have lost. This, again, is mixed. Yes, I get that they're going harsh on people who lose the game. It's a waste of time, and I think this is great. So if you would have lost 11, you now lost 22 TP. The enemy winning team will win 0.5. I think this is good too, because it's basically saying some dude left, rage quit, and you know, honestly, this doesn't happen too much. I feel like this almost is more bad than good, because Smite is not a consistent game and reliable, that sometimes you go in with bugs, where if someone, I have this happen, you're all loading in, someone uses a VGS of good luck, your comms quit working. The only way to reset those comms is to restart the game. So now you're telling me because some asshole decided to use VGS in the... couldn't wait until everyone loaded in because they used it in the loading menu, I now have lost comms. And the only way to do that is to reset the entire game. And now I stand at potentially losing 20 plus TP because your game was broken. Again, I get what they're going for, but this is very, very, very thin ice and can frustrate the hell out of most people. Ranked Conquest, it's now solo only. This is great. Joust, awesome. Duel, shouldn't play it anyways. Joust map, awesome. Contains 2 armored tigers, 400 HP. You get gold and experience. Interesting. Arena, yeah, don't care. Clash, Assault. Oh, well, now select from all gods instead of just a player that owns gods. I thought it already did that, but you should have the god pack anyways, so okay. Conquest. We've solved many problems from the past seasons, including snowballing, excessive grouping up, and lack of defined roles. The order of the map looks great, and the SPL meta has had great diversity in strategies and god picks. This I agree with. One key problem with the map has been the impact of the duo lane. This is very true. Pro players have learned to adapt quite well, but the general player base finds that support player is often too far behind the rest of the team. Yes and no. If you're behind on the losing team, it makes it very hard when you are 5, 6 plus levels behind. But keep in mind, you are support. If you get behind, you are now the backline. You peel for your team. You do not initiate. That's what support means. Build auras. They're fucking cheap. Alright? You don't need that. You need items. You don't need the levels, in a sense. I get it. But if you get that far behind, you're 4 or 5 levels behind, you have to peel. You cannot jump in as a Terra and dash into all of them and then die and be like, dude, I don't know what happened. In 5.13, the lowest player on each team will get bonus shared XP. We did this because it's guaranteed to only affect one player, and in the large majority of scenarios, it will only help the support. Yes, it will. I'm sure that you can find a way to rig this. I'm sure there's a way to rig it. I just can't figure it out yet. We did not want to put Guardian's Blessing because this want to put it on Guardian's Blessing because this opens up many ways to exploit the item. We could easily see a group up meta with many copies of this because extra XP is that powerful. I'm glad they thought ahead. We made it shared XP because this is intended only for the support. It's not intended to simply help out anyone who falls behind. If other lanes fall behind, they will have to change their playstyle to make use of this bonus. The bonus is not so intense that anyone could feed or troll and use it to make a quick comeback. It is intentionally subtle. If this works as intended, the strategy of positions of conquest shouldn't change much. Support players should find themselves slightly less behind than before, assuming everyone is playing well. I get it, that's kind of cool. PTS feedback and gameplay will be very important to us as we implement this feature. It's very likely that we will need to make some tweaks to the system in 5.14 or beyond. We want to make sure sports know how we appreciate them in Smite. Hand of the Gods or something. We also slightly nerfed mid and jungle XP in the Elder Harpy changes to address some concerns around mid and jungle having the highest impact. This is true. You go mid jungle and then like solo and then ADC. And we made a pretty heavy adjustments to all jungle buffs to make them more interactive. Each buff focuses on active participation in its effect rather than purely just passive. That's great. Support bonus. Woo. Again, this is awesome because it touches on if the lowest level player is disconnected, the bonus XP will move to the second lowest. That's great. Minion AI. Minions that have already chosen a target will not change targets unless their current target die, leaves the radius, or an enemy god drives their aggro. This is huge. Absolutely huge. A lot of people are going to look over this, but this should fix the issue. If you guys have ever gone into a conquest game, 1v1, spawn lane minions, you will see that minions will start and will eventually take towers without anyone being near them. I feel that this is a heavy reason for this. Notice it doesn't say change God, it's change targets. This is huge. I really enjoy this. This is a huge, huge buff. Elder Harpy. Base XP reduced. And this effect mid camps times 2, back camps at 1. It's not too bad, but it is 20 experience. So be aware of that. Focus to oracles now. Oracle HP has dropped significantly. If you think about that, that's 180 divided, or goes into 680. What, 4 times? A little less than that, I think. So roughly 4 times, you just cut the health by a quarter. That's pretty huge. Jungle buff, only for conquest. This is pretty interesting. Speed only does 10% now compared to 15. However, you now get stacks upon killing or assisting jungle camps 3 times. This lasts 15 seconds, but this will now give you a 16% increase compared to 15%. Not significant, but I think this does make sure that you are more prioritizing the jungle and not just running around destroying everything. Red buff, decreased power from 20 to 10%, but power increased from 10 to 15 when hitting enemy gods. Really trying to change this here. Trying to make it not so prevalent late game. Early game, not too big of a deal. Late game, pretty huge. Purple buff. Now this has a new buff. For each enemy god past the first 55 units of you. This is so confusing. This is very, very confusing. For each enemy god past the first within 55 units of you. I'm going to just assume that this means the amount of enemies within 55 units of you have this, and it stacks depending on how much it is. Can't be sure because for each enemy god past the first within, I don't know, moving on. Blue buff now basically has Glad Shield. This is crazy. Instead of healing 5, or it's basically losing 10 MP5 right here on that. But if you hit an enemy god, you restore 2% of your missing mana. This is awesome. I like it. Jungle practice, I love it. Basically, a bunch of stuff. You can add bots, attack towers. This is going to be great. I'm super excited to actually start getting more build videos out. They're just super lackluster, and I absolutely love this. I felt that it was coming because they had that second jungle, and I think it's amazing. Bug fixes. Awesome, they finally fixed that. 20 seconds. Perfect. Alright. Well, we're on to gods now. I think that... Nope, there's more bugs. Alright. T-pose, not important. This is... Voices. Alright. Masks. There's new items. I cheated and I looked earlier. These are awesome. However, they now give you powerful bonuses, but you now have a issue with a negative effect. They're all very low. 2200, 2400, 2600. 2200, of course, will be the support. This is amazing for supports. Pick this up. Please, for all God and humanity, pick this up. If you're a support, fuck it, I don't even care. Pick this up as a warrior. Pick this up. Just pick this up. This is nuts. Cheap item. 100 health. 50 of each protections, 20% CCR, and 15% mitigation. Now, pick this up if you're a support or warrior. Please don't do this as mid. This 25% damage deal. I like what they did here. This is amazing in order to make sure that you don't have an assassin pick this shit up and then it's just tanky as all hell and still doing damage. Very good item. Keep in mind, that's what I'm assuming. I'm going to assume I work for Hi-Res here. Assuming they anticipated people would pick up these items, and going forth with the masks, they did not want a support to say pick something up that would allow them to deal more damage with penetration while not having a negative effect like more damage taken or less damage dealt. This is great. Messenger's mask, Boombas. Oh, Boombas tier 3. Alright. Mobility mask. Large bursts of speed and CDR at the cost of taking increased damage. 25 physical power. Meh. Trying to think who would use this. Movement speed. Probably a jungler. There's not much magical junglers, and I swear to God, if you're a mage and you pick this up, I feel like you will die. Over and over and over. And over. And over. You're squishy enough as it is. You get crit twice and you basically die. You want to increase that by 20%? I really don't think you do. That being said, I want to know if this stacks. Think about it. Now, you take 20% more damage taken, but now you can go into a defensive item and take this in exchange for boots. This is what makes it very, very unique. Yes, you get mediocre power, but you get 20% movement speed. That is more than your boots. Your boots give you 18%. Now, if this is going to add 50 extra bonus movement speed on top of the 20%, you're going to be at around 425 at that 18%. That means it's going to be 475 without any speed buff. You will be zooming across the map. However, if they catch you, you are so fucked, worse than a Bangkok hooker on Friday night. Super, super risky item here. It's going to take a lot of testing and see if this is actually worth it. 20% CDR is amazing. 20% movement speed. Potentially, I mean, this is just unheard of. This would, in a sense, be like 40% movement speed. This is nuts. We'll have to see how it actually plays out, though. Fighter's Mask. Yay, power. Rangda's Mask. You're going to be doing a shit ton of damage. An absolute shit ton. But you will have no movement speed whatsoever. And you're going to be... God forbid you go this. 20 pen is pretty significant. 100 magic power. Pretty significant. I want to preface or postface this. You cannot build multiple. Alright, you can't build Boombas and then come in and build Rangdas and then come on in and build fucking Lonos and you just don't die, you deal damage. This is huge, and I could see this being picked up on someone like Anubis. Insane amounts of damage. Extra 15% ability damage. Now, this is going to be very, very scary if this occurs on ticks. Someone like Anubis. Someone like, Nox. You can tell this can be picked up by either side, mages or physical gods. Someone like Guan Yu. You add that 15% ability damage per tick, this is scary. Super scary. 20% attack damage, yes, that's good. The power is good, the pen is good. But I don't know as far as an ADC if this would be worth it. I could see someone like Assassins picking this up. You go someone like, like Bakasura. Basic attack damage is 20%. You might need to build or always have speed at this point to counter the minus 30 movement speed. So this could very well be in a jungler heavy item for the fact that you get penetration, power, and the movement speed is negated by the speed buff. We'll see how well this goes. Elixir of Power. Very, very nice. I love this. I hate going 3,000 gold and you get something for 5 minutes. Now it's going up to 6 minutes and you're like, let's go. We're going to do some... and then they just fucking go in and all in you because you're trying... Usually when I buy this, it's either super late game or I'm fed off my ass and people are going to be targeting the hell out of me. You no longer remove it on death. I like that. For 3,000 gold is amazing. Like, this is amazing. So what this can also do now is it also increases 25% more damage to structures. I like this. Same thing with Elixir. Same exact thing. You take 25% decreased damage from structures. You build this with Emperors and you're not dying. Face tank that shit forever. Soul Reaver is now Ethereal Staffs. Alright, perfect. Ethereal Staff. Whenever you damage an enemy god, you deal 8% maximum mana as well as 4% max health from the target. The stats remain stolen for 45 seconds and targets affected can have multiple buffs and debuffs at once. It can only occur once every 15 seconds. Why? Why would you do this? This is unique. But now, you're going to have a support. Say someone like Kepri. Or say someone like Athena. Fuck it, Cerberus. Think of Cerberus with this. You jump in and all of a sudden you steal everyone's 8% mana and health. You ult them and throw them back. Your mid laner, who also has that thrill staff, like an Agni, bombs the fuck out of everyone that you just threw, and immediately you have taken 8% of their max health. And now you go Guardian with this. So say you have a solo mage, you are basically taking 12% of someone's max health and giving it to your own. Fuck the mana. This is crazy. And the fact that if you do it perfectly, you can stack this 3 times. Because stats remain stolen for 45 seconds. 15, 30. So 2. Alright, you can stack this twice. Depends if it refreshes. It's going to be buggy if they do. You have 4% max health. That's 25% of your max health is taken if this is stacked. This is scary. And this seems absolutely broken. Your supports become tankier. Your solo laners become tankier. All while taking that away from your enemy. This is nuts. And if this counts as a heal, and you go Rod of Asclepius, oh dear God. Book of Thoth, increased cost, decreased mana, but increase the percentage. So they want to really decrease the early power. Late game, this is very, very strong now. If you think we're going to do some math right now, you don't see it, I'm pulling out my calculators. So, let's go 2,500 mana times 0.03 is 75 extra power. You now take that by 2,500 mana, give you 5%. That's an extra 50 power, bringing it up to 125. That increase in cost is very, very important now. That extra 150 means that you can't quite rush this without severely being hampered. This is now a 2-back item. You can't back and pick up 2,800 on your first back. You can't. This is huge. You can stick around for 2,650, but that's it. You are out of everything. You're out of pots. Book of the Dead. Seeing a shift to benefit more total mana. Increased passive mana shield from 15 to 20. Lowered health threshold from 50 to 40. I think this is good because 50%, you get crit twice. All of a sudden it's up there, and then they don't have to fight you anymore. This is also very important. Your total mana, not current mana. This had to be a bug. But it no longer provides health, it provides a shield. Keep in mind, shields do not protect you against executes. Keep that in mind. Sorcerer Staff, decreased mana, that's good. I like it. Warlocks, decreased mana from 4 to 2. Good. This is huge. 400 mana is just nuts. Like, that's nuts. It's stupid. Good job. Typhon's Fang. Adjusted early on in Season 5 and didn't get a chance to shine, failing to the wayside in many lifesteal focused builds, retweaking the amount of base power provided by really ramping up the amount of power granted based on total lifesteal to really let it shine as a final item in a lifesteal focused build. Sorry. Lose 20 power. Increase bonus magical power from the lifesteal total from an equal amount to twice the amount. Anubis, guess who has now become a very potential solo laner. You go Bancrofts, you go Pythags, you go Typhons, you go Boots, you go Mantle, you go Spirit. If you don't know what those items were, let me know down in the comment section down below. You will be tanky. You will have a shit ton of power. You will have a metric shit ton of lifesteal and power. I will be hopping on the PTS to test this out. Stop by the stream, guys. If you would want to see. This seems absolutely nuts. Bancrofts increase the cost. Awesome. This is a very good item. Very good for like 90% of the magical gods. Mages, not magical gods. Restored artifact, decreased MP5. I think that's the tier 2, I believe. Chronos pendant, decreased magic power, decreased MP5. It's very, very strong. This is an amazing item in more ways than one. Rod of Asclepius. Bonus healing is now only provided from abilities, no longer affect potions, lifesteal, health restoring buffs. I actually didn't know that it even affected buffs. That's actually a good change. I like this as well. This is good. Hi-Res, you guys are on your shit this patch. Imagine Stone of Gaia with a Rod of Asclepius. Think about that. Rod of Healing, same thing. Only abilities, not others. Oni Hunter's Guard, still not used. Don't pick it up. I don't see why you would, but you now get 3% mitigation. I think it stacks like 5 times, so 5% more mitigation. Yeah. I don't know who'd ever pick that up. Midgardian. Thank God, increase the cost. This is good, even though I know support choice behind, but Midgardian is absolutely infuriating and picked up by more than just the Guardians. This is picked up by solo laners, and this just absolutely is the most frustrating and unfun thing to play. Do I like the item? Yes. Do I like playing against it? No. I absolutely hate it. But now they've reduced the speed down 4%. I think this stacks twice, so it would give you a 20% attack speed and movement speed. This is annoying. I'm glad. I think this is a good, but this is incredibly strong. And it doesn't just counter auto attack people, it counters your guardians, it counters your warriors. You cannot attack anyone like this. I personally would probably like this to come down to like about 6% per stack and see how well it does. That's still 12% movement speed and attack speed while you can keep running. 2 more percent and I would love this, but that might be because I loved to hate and hate to love this item. Silver Branch, you get now attack speed 10% more. Not bad. Very good for people going attack speed builds. You build this instead of Ichabod. You don't get the power, but holy shit, will you have an amazingly fast attack speed, and they will have nothing. Toxic Blade. Still not really useful. There's just no reason to pick this up. Like maybe, I guess if they have a ton of healing, you could take this like Bakasura maybe. I'm sorry for keep referencing him, but Bakasura may be helpful with this because now you get extra attack speed, you get that extra power, I think CDR, and now you can just attack people and practice multiple times. I think this is a very good option, but keep in mind this is only very beneficial if you're going to be getting like multiple dots or multiple attacks on multiple enemies and multiple hits. Usually if you're hitting this 2-3 times, late game they're dead. You don't need to worry about like, oh man, I really got to counter their healing. Let's go Brawlers. Why would Hachiman ever go Toxic Blade when Brawlers is available and he can hit 2-3 people and immediately give them 40% reduced health? And instead of this, he has to hit each one 2 times. That's 6 auto attacks, 100% hit rate, and not anyone body blocking. I just don't see it. Stone Cutting. Why? Oh man, I love this. Bakasura, guys. You just wait. Poison Star, decrease damage reduction and slow from 20% to 15%. I guess that's good. Poison Star is a very fun item. Allowed you to kind of rely on RNG, while if you didn't go this, you could rely more heavily. If you get crit, you have to back off. If you don't, you win the fight. This was a very fun, I don't want to say fun mechanic, interesting. If you went this route, you're relying on RNG to give you crits, and if you do not crit, you are losing that team fight. You are losing that trade. However, late game, very, very scary. Attack speed and crit are a dangerous combo, so we are now going to decrease the cost. Still has quite a strong set of stats and a powerful passive, so we're only adjusting the cost to help it compete with similar items vying for the same build slot. What other item are you talking about? Kins? Because you don't go Kins and crit. Talking about Rage? Because Rage is good, but it's not as good as Wind Demon. What other item are you talking about here? Spectral. Increased bonus damage taken from crits. I think you mean that back way. Alright. Increased bonus damage reduction from crits from 50% to 60%. 10% more, so if they're going to crit you for 1,000, they now crit you for 600. Pretty strong item, especially with the crit meta. Solo laners pick this up. I don't really see Guardians picking that up. Warrior's Blessing, and decrease the health by 25, and decrease the health and mana restored from 40 to 30. I like this. This is pretty strong. Warrior's Blessing is incredibly strong. Shifter's Shield now getting is a powerful item that is mostly overlooked, so we're now going to make it more overpowered. 100 gold cheaper. Sundering Spear, baby, it's back. Let's do it. Sunder. To define the meta for a short period of time and cause a lot of frustration. It was hit with some super heavy nerfs. We brought this item back incrementally and feel it's in a safe spot. To give it a little more oomph, we are decreasing the cooldown to be lower than the average relics. Well, matches its unique skill shot. It's crazy. 110 seconds, guys. You sunder someone, you upgrade this shit. Oh, they're dead. Freya, bunch of stuff. This is not going to be fun. Anyways, her passive. Your melee attacks restore 6% of your missing mana per successful hit. Freya's ranged attacks and abilities heal 2% of her missing HP per successful hit, up to 1 per shot. So this is pretty good. Gives you a little bit more sustainability instead of the lifesteal. Northern Lights. This is your 1, your 2. Yep. So this is your 1. Your 1 now will do a absolute ton. Hits an enemy within 5 seconds, deal bonus magical damage in an area around the enemy. Make the next basic attack that hits an enemy within the next 5 seconds, deal bonus magical damage in an area around the enemy. Enemies hit by the explosion are slowed for 2 seconds. I really, really hope it's a one-time hit and it's not multiple. Because if this, you build like 500 damage, 400 damage, that's 250 plus an extra what, 300? 550 per auto? Can't do that. Aura Blade, melee bonus damage. This is now your 2. This is interesting. Can now switch between empowering or melee attacks or shooting and pass-through ranged attacks that stop on gods. That's cool. Both her melee and ranged basic attacks gain bonus magical damage while toggled on. Each ranged basic attack drains mana. Makes sense. It's like X-Ball. Minions take no bonus damage from the ranged version of Aura Blade. That is also good. It makes her not an ADC. Cooldown is 2 point, but holy shit, is that crazy. Switch between empowering her melee attacks or shooting pass-through ranged basic attacks that stop. While toggled on, each ranged basic attack drains. Okay, I just want to make sure that wasn't like every other attack is 57. I'm like, well, that's goodbye. That's useless. Okay, so each ranged and only ranged uses mana. That's crazy. Valkyrie's Discretion is her ult, decreasing her ult because these are some pretty large buffs. It's going to be a lot of fun to see kind of what happens here. Bakasura, because I haven't done good enough as it is with him. Takedown, this is his jump. No longer decreases physical protection, but it rather increases all enemies hit by 10% from all sources. You jump on someone and they get ulted, they are now dead. That is nuts. Eat Minion. This is huge. I can't tell you how annoying it was. I was actually thinking about it. I never said it in any of my videos, but I'm like, man, this Eat Minion just feels clunky. Like, you eat it and you think you can attack, but you can't, and then it's just weird. This, I think, is amazing, and I really, really enjoy this. This ability now places an additional target over targets that can be instantly devoured. I like this as well. You know, I hate having to sit there and press your button, see if it'll work, not, okay, cancel, attack a couple times, start it again, oh, okay, I can eat it. I'm hoping that this isn't just instantly devoured, such as harpies, but something like a buff. It'll let you know when and that is now able to be eaten. Regurgitate. Now I increase the projectile speed. This is nice because there's been a couple times where I ult and they're going to be crippled, but they jump away. And now Bakasura may now eat his own minion pets from this ability. This is crazy and makes this incredibly strong now. Bakasura just got an absolutely huge buff, and I'm going to continue to take him mid, and I hope to see you guys in mid. It's free low. Undead Surge, this is 1. This is stupid strong. Means you upgrade your 1, you heal up, you upgrade your 1, and then after that it's just 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Empty the Crypts, this is his ult, and now have 20% of healing reduction because it wasn't strong enough as it is. Opwash is going to be absolutely broken in the current meta since healing is everywhere. In fact, it stacks up to 3 times, lasts 5 seconds, meaning that they have a 60% healing reduction before Divine Ruin. You add Divine Ruin onto that, they will, I believe, have 100% healing reduction. The damaging spirits now pass through all wall structures and players. This is pretty intense and a huge buff. I think this is almost a quality of life buff. I really like it. Empty the Crypts now persists after Opwash dies. I also like this too. I hate like you're about to kill someone, you ult, they're in the middle of it, and you're like, okay, and they survive with 1 HP compared to just dying. I like this. I like this. The 20% reduction is just stupid. Artemis' new passive. Now instead of dealing 15% crit chance upon landing 3 auto attacks, she will now have 30% more damage to enemy minions and 15% more enemy gods if they are affected by crowd control. Does not include knockbacks, blinds, or grabs. Critical strikes on these targets deal 160% compared to 130%. This is pretty strong. I still think that she's going to be crit oriented, but keep in mind Khepri, this doesn't include a Khepri. Now it does include, say, an Athena taunt into her 1. It includes stuns in her ult. It includes roots in her 1. So now you're going to be dealing 15% more to those enemy gods, which means she will burst you down late game so beyond scary. Now the only thing that I hope that they are doing is just you deal 30% more damage to enemy minions, period. You also deal 15% to enemy gods if they are affected by CC. I really hope that they don't mean enemy minions affected by CC. It is possible. Hanbots, trading his crit strike passive for Hydra's limit. This buff no longer provides 30% crit chance, it just deals 20% more damage on a successful basic attack, which is scary. Wonder how long it'll last. I hope it's probably about 3 seconds would be my guess, but now that's horrible. Hanbots, now affected by no directional movement penalties while this ability is firing. This is pretty nice. Fear No Evil can now be deployed in walls. This is nice. It's frustrating when you go to use it, and oh, you clipped a wall, so they got away. Neja, buffs now longer provide crit strike chance. This is good and bad. Sad because I loved this. Good because I hate going against it. He builds no crit and then crits you 4 times. Buff stacks now provide 0.5% movement speed and 1 physical power, stacking up to 20 times, which means you get 10% movement speed and 20 extra power. So I think a nice buff. I'm alright with that. Raven got switched to an assassin. Chain of Blows can now stack on damaging enemy structures. That's good. Stacks are now gained per target hit. So this is going to be very, very strong. That means 10-hand Shadow Fist, Overhead Kick. Both of these should stack. So that'll be pretty interesting. Stacks now provide a 3% movement speed. I'm not sure how many stacks that they get, so pardon me, guys. Anubis, they're buffing him, just basically reducing his mana cost on his 1 and his 3. I don't agree with that. I think that he was fine, but alright. Buff him some more with your Typhon Thing, because he's not going to be strong enough. Apollo fixes description. Baron, I think that this was never an issue. I haven't gone against a ton of Barons, which I noticed it being an issue. Vivid Gaze is good though, also known as the Tada. Reduced 40 damage off the top and 10% late game. This is pretty nice actually. I really like this. Any nerfs to Baron, I'm okay. His 2 decreased heal from 15% to 12.5. Let me tell you how much that 2.5%, even if they're missing 1,000 health. Let me tell you how that extra 25 health was a big deal. Drop this shit down to like 8% and then I'll be happy. Wrap it up. Decreased his damage. So that's cool. The cause is for this overall damage went from 80 to 336 plus 40% to 210 plus 25. This is huge. I like this. Keep doing these subtle nerfs. I would like to see this nerfed a little bit more. But I get you can't nerf him into the ground. It's just his 3, his 1, his ult, his 1. They're just... It's a horrible combo. And his kit was so bloated. Don't get me wrong, he's a lot of fun. Shanga increased his, or her, whatever it is. I believe this is her 3 from 5 to 6 seconds. That doesn't seem right there. I feel like this was her 1. Anyways, her 1 or her 3 increased cooldown by 1 second. Not too big of a deal. Decreased ult damage from 160 to 460 to just 40 late game. So probably 10 off each level up. Chrono, stop time, same thing. If you beads the beginning, you beads the whole thing. Cupid is a small god, so his camera adjust. Hades, now his debuff lowers the target's magical or physical power by 5%. That's pretty nice. Kali now has her assist from 15 to 20%. I'm okay with that, I guess. But late game, she's more scary. Kukulkan. Decreased cooldown in his ult by 10 seconds. Increased movement speed from 40 to 80 to 60 to 80. Why? 60% movement speed on one ability? Are you stupid? This is dumb. This is so much. Legit. Just build fucking max cooldown and never build boots. You'll have more power and you'll have this shit up every like 2 seconds. Rama adjusted his ult, I believe. The ground target can occasionally get lost in the middle of a team fight. Never have had that happen. Circuit decreased her damage from 3 poison from 25% to 20. Rip Circuit solo. Deathbane, this is good. Fix an issue where targets inside the hit area for Deathbane would not take the full amount of the hits they should. I swear I've seen this happen before on like camps. I think I even commented on it on one of my videos. The ability target has been updated to better show the areas where this ability hits. That's good. The actual hit area has not changed. Last Breath nerfed it from a 690 late game to 640. Basically 10 at all levels. We got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And last is Jean Kui. Decreased protection from stack from 1 to 0.8. So that's not bad. I like it. Book of Demons is 3. Decreased stun duration from 0.7 to 1. Basically minus 0.1 on each one. Guys, I love this patch so far. Sorry it was a long one. Mid-season patch. Let me know what you guys think. Go follow the Twitch and Twitter down below. And until the next time, as always, have yourself an absolutely amazing life.